Hey guys, what's up? It's Trunks, and I'm back at you guys today with another how-to guide. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Town Hall 11 dip on Town Hall 10s. Both replays we have here for you are actually 10.5s, but the same logic applies to the Town Hall 10 dip, and there was not much difference in the base between a Town Hall 10 other than the fact that they had the Grand Warden. So we'll go ahead and look at the first base. We'll pick apart it, tell you what you need to look for when you want to use the GoBoLaLoon strategy on these bases. Basically, what you want to do is you want to decide by scouting the base if you need one or two golems. If you need to bring wall breakers to wall breaker in, or if you can access the base with a single jump. You want to bring all three of your heroes are going to be committed to your golem kill squad. You will need a few funneling wizards, and then you're going to bring some bowlers, usually somewhere between 6 and 8. The rest then will be filled in with however many hounds you need. Basically, that can be decided off of the level of the air defenses. One of these bases, the second one we will look at, you will notice that the air defenses are only level 7, whereas this base they are level 8. So I'm able to slide by on this second attack with only 2 hounds, knowing that they are maxed and it will take longer for them to pop since there is not as much damage coming in on them, and I can bring in extra loons. But basically you decide, rule of thumb usually is however many air defenses you are going to leave up. If they are maxed, then you want 1 extra hound. And then from there you will just basically fill in the rest of your camp space with as many loons as you can take, and you're going to drop those loons surgically following in behind your hounds, targeting the point defenses that will do the most damage. Spell composition will be a jump, a rage for the kill squad. You will not need a freeze for the kill squad because you will have the Grand Warden that you can use. Then you will want, for your loons, you're going to want 3 haste, possibly more. If you decide that you don't need the extra spells, you will need a poison for the kill squad, and you will need possibly a freeze on the backside and a heal or extra haste, depending on what the base has, is what you can take. We'll go ahead and look at the first replay. When you're scouting these bases, one of the other things you want to look at is if the X-bows are on ground. That is one of the huge indicators that this strategy should be used, because you're already at an advantage as the defender is down 3 towers that can possibly target your loons when they are coming in. So the idea is that you want to bring in your kill squad with your heroes. The objective is to snag the enemy Archer Queen, the clan castle, 1 to 2 air defenses, and 1 Inferno tower. If you can accomplish that goal, then your LaLoon portion is already off to a very great start. Your kill squad will come in one area, and then you want to bring your LaLoon portion either clockwise or counterclockwise around the base, depending on how you scout it. For this base, these sweepers were facing the opposite direction, so coming in clockwise was the best route for this. As you can see, there are haste down to get the loons into the base. Then there are haste to get to that first air defense. A freeze is dropped on the Inferno on the backside to keep them off the loons, and a heal. There was some bad pathing that actually ended up having on this base, and the loons ended up going around. But in the end, everything tends to work out for the fact that that Expo is on ground is what actually makes this attack succeed. Because if that Expo was on air, this attack, since it had missed that Inferno, would not have worked. You kind of want to save some back-end loons, which came out a little bit early, that could have been held when that hound came over to get on that last archer tower, but 2 of them were able to survive and take out that last archer tower. We'll go ahead and speed this attack up a little bit. As you can see, it's pretty much cooked and done at this point. There's still a hound which finally pops and helps the pups clean it up. There's a good portion of the loons going in. There's additional cleanup troops that were working. As you can see, some of the archers walking around the base. If you have additional space, if you know you don't need the extra camp space, then you can go ahead and bring in the extra cleanup troops. But for the most part, your pups and your loons are going to be your cleanup for the bases. Now, like I said, looking at the second replay that we're going to take a look at, once again, was by myself. We'll go ahead and take a look at this base. As you can see, it was a little bit lower, but scouting the base, you could see that you could come in with 2 golems to create a nice large funnel down at the bottom. You could wall breaker into this first portion since the bomber tower does not reach that outside wall, and knowing that the cannons and the archer towers would be preoccupied by 2 golems, nothing would be able to target them. Once again, like I said, the expos were all on ground, which was the first indicator that I wanted to bring in air on this base. The second thing was that he also only had level 7 air defenses for all 4 of them. So he was already at a huge disadvantage when I was coming in with max hounds and max loons. So that's one of the things those are 2 of the things you actually want to look for. Like I said, the third thing you want to do is try to come into the base to take out as many air defenses as you can. You want to be able to try to take out an Inferno Tower, the Clan Castle, and the Archer Queen. So we'll go ahead and get into this replay so you can see how it's done. Like I said, this time I was able to look at the base and know that I only needed 2 hounds on the backside since I wanted them to pop for the cleanup. So I was able to bring an extra golem to create this nice large wide funnel. Both golems go down, wizards behind them to create a huge funnel, test wall breaker to make sure that there was no single bomb there to prevent wall breakers coming in. Let the golems redirect right in, heroes come in behind them, and bowlers are going to walk right in, get a jump down right in the middle of this base so that we have access to the Inferno Tower, the Clan Castle, and that Queen. Get a rage down for your kill squad so that way they're able to tank right through. And you want to pop that ability when the Inferno Tower, the Queen, and the CC are starting to work on your main kill squad group, because they will go ahead and, since they are immune, will be able to work right through the core of that base and take out the objectives. The GoBoLaLoon portion on this time is coming counterclockwise because of the way the sweepers were facing. And since I knew that he had lower bases and there was a possibility that I thought I may be able to get across the base to get that second Inferno Tower, I opted to bring additional haste to get over to the backside of the base. As you see, the first hound goes in, it pops on that air defense, but there were plenty of loons coming in across the whole base, and since I didn't have to bring the third hound, I was able to bring additional 5 loons. There's tons of loons coming in, and the freeze that I thought I might need for that Inferno, I was able to use on the backside air defense to give the hound and the loons some extra time to get across the base, since this was a little bit more widespread out base, but there was plenty of loons coming across the base. You have pups on the backside, as I said, they are your main cleanup. There was a few extra wizards that I had left over that were able to get on the backside cleanup as well, but for the most part, you can look and see. We'll go ahead and start speeding this a little bit, but since he had ground expos, he was missing out on 3 defenses that could have been picking off these hounds quicker, which would have got to work sooner on the loons that are still standing. I mean, you can look and see there's probably about 10-15 loons still standing on the board, and the Grand Warden helping them with the additional health buff. So as you see, putting the expos on ground for a Town Hall 10 should be a no-no in these current meta when Town Hall 11s are usually dipping on the Town Hall 10s. So as a Town Hall 11, if you see a Town Hall 10 with ground expos, this should be one of your first signs that you want to come into the base with air. The second is you want to look at if you can access the Queen, 1 to 2 air defenses very easily, an Inferno Tower, and the Clan Castle. If you can accomplish those objectives, then this is a very strong strategy to bring, as the success rate will significantly increase because your GoBoLaLoon portion will be overpowered on the backside when there's nothing to be able to target it as far as the expos go. And those are the objectives you want to look for, and that is how you pull off the Town Hall 11 dip on a Town Hall 10 for the GoBoLaLoon. Now, if you made it this far in the video and you like what you guys have seen, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'll have more how-tos. I'll have war recaps coming from Archer Outlaws and Fullman Morte. If you have any questions or anything, leave comments down at the bottom. I will answer everything that I can